Vogel signs with the CM.
Yep.
Breaking news.
5 years,
Signing with the.
31 million.
There you
Five
go.
years.
Yeah, fire contract out.
5 years,
They not
31
coaches though. They
million.
can always just fire him though. We ain't even pay him.
5 years. That's a lot
It
of
don't
money.
affect the salary cap one thing. But
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
so 5 years, y'all. So Tomo, talk to us. Do you like that move for the Suns?
Why I gotta be the first person to talk about coaches, man? Y'all know this is a sore spot for me, man. I couldn't go last. I
I can
mean,
go first. That's cool.
nah, I'll go. I'll go. I mean, who can really coach the Suns team? Like, who would actually be a good fit? They need some. They need a Ty Lue. If he was out there, I would say a Ty Lue. A name that you always throw out there, Joe, is Sam Cassell. Frank Vogel, his track record ain't the best for him to be showing up with a team that's just mentally in pieces. I won't say fragile. I would just say in pieces because you got CP3 who wants to win a ring. You got Devin Booker who says, I'm a superstar and y'all need to respect me as such, but also goes missing at times. Then you got Kevin Durant who's just like, look, I just want to play basketball. People want me to do all this other stuff. They want me to be a leader. They want me to do all this. I know I can score. I know I'm great, but I just want to play basketball. Like, leave me alone. And then you got Aiton who's like, I don't even like this team. Like, I don't even like Phoenix. I just want to, sorry I lied to you, Martin. I just want to leave Arizona. That's what he's at with it. And think about Frank Vogel's career. Like, when he was with the Pacers, he had a good run. Then you had like Paul George, Hibbert, Granger, Lance, but he couldn't get past the Heat. He just couldn't get past that Miami team, regardless of what was happening. He just couldn't get past them. Then he went to Orlando, tried to bounce back. Then they got rid of him. Orlando said, look, I'll go get somebody that we don't even care about. And he ended up with the Lakers. And, of course, he got that bubble ring, but we know how most people feel about that bubble. So, Frank, hats off to you, man. Hopefully you had some luck there. But I say all that to say no, it wasn't a good fit.
Mm. See,
mm,
me, it's like my initial reaction, like Frank Vogel, what? Yeah, I thought about it, and I'm like,
$8.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I like that Martin reference too. That was funny. So, okay, so I okay. This reminds me of no. It's actually worse than this. All right, when Philly let go Brett Brown and got Doc Rivers, I was like, yeah, Doc is better, but I mean, I don't still see them going anywhere like far. It's like that, and the reason why I'm saying that because and I'm not saying Vogel is better than Monty Williams. But Frank Vogel, yeah, he's a good X and O coach. He had a similar story like Eric Spoelstra. They both came up like they both were like doing media stuff first, and then they came into the coaching game, right? So he's good at like drawing up plays and stuff like that. He's a great defensive coach. He has a good defensive mind. He had that Paul George led Pacers team. They won
Mm-hmm.
7 games with Bron in Miami Heat. And that Pacers team was not better than Miami at all. They won that game. That should never went 7 games. So I'll give Frank. Nah, Paul George wasn't who he wasn't at that elite stage yet.
But when
he
you
So
get
was
to
man,
game
not.
seven, when
He
you
was
get to
not.
game seven,
hmm,
when you get to a game seven,
that's what I'm saying. It was great coaching. I'm gonna give Frank Vogel some flowers for that. You know,
Yeah, and it's
nah.
not like Indiana was favored against Miami either.
they were not favored. They
Nobody
like
was favored against that team, but still,
And
exactly.
that's what makes it good for Frank Vogel. The fact that he
Yeah.
wasn't favored and he took him to
I'm
7 games
I'm
without a
sorry, man.
superstar on his team.
I'm sorry, but he went up against the Randy Whitman Wizards as well, and he had way more talent than that team, and we went 6 games with him.
You told y'all had John Wall now.
Yeah,
Yeah, but y'all made like a late comeback in that series. I remember that, and then they finished it off. You all right? But Roy Hibbert wasn't the same though. Remember he took a major dive in his. I don't know, major. Don't know what happened to him. He went from 1 year to being a big shot
Him and
blocker, big
him and
anchor.
Danny Granger took a downfall. Both of them
Yeah,
did.
yeah. Then he had injuries though. Roy Hibbert, I couldn't even recognize
I
him.
know what
Yeah,
Lance
he was
Stevens stole
trash.
their powers. That's what happened there.
Okay, like for real, Roy Hibbert looked like this, like Space Jam. It took his powers. Like I'm dead serious. He looked totally different. But I remember that series though. I was rooting for y'all too, Tom. And they yeah, but so
That's when my
because I thought
optimism was through the
y'all had
roof.
a good chance to give him what's the name run for their money. But so I do so now, but here's my big issue with this whole situation. The reason why Monty got let go. So the reason why he got let go, obviously we see the 2 blowouts and the team chemistry with 8 and all that stuff going on. But then did we not forget why Frank Vogel get let go? Like they couldn't get the team together. You know, he didn't have it. Like remember here in Westbrook didn't really
Yeah.
they bumped heads a lot. He didn't have a role for Westbrook. You know all that stuff. But then on my other hand, I'm like the Lakers organization itself did a terrible job constructing a team for Frank Vogel. So I'm not mad at the move. I'm not mad at it at all. But only thing I'm mad at is if you're gonna get Frank Vogel, you should have kept Monty Williams. That's my thing. Because KD came over there, and Monty Williams was one of the reasons why he came over there. So, but obviously, getting Frank Vogel, I'm assuming KD has some word in to get him. And who else is available?
You could
You
trade
know,
for a coach. We've seen it happen before.
see, yeah, like you got veterans, you got KD. Like you can't, like they probably think like we ain't got time to get this new guy in. Let's get a proven vet who won a ring recently. What a dynamic duo. So that's why I'm not mad at it, but I'm thinking they should have just kept Monty Williams for all this.
I'm gonna let you go, Dave, before I say my point.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Joe on that last part. I definitely feel like they should have just kept Monty Williams. Monty Williams. I I I'm I don't think it's a bad move hiring Frank Vogel. I mean, look at the years he was with them. In 2011, 2012, when it was a shortened season, they won 42 games. Then the next year they won 45, 49. Then they won 56. Then they had a bad year in 2014, 2015. They won 30. They were 30 and 44. But then they went and won 45 games, and that's when he got fired. And he was coach for Orlando for 2 seasons. I mean, but Orlando hasn't been good for a while. So I mean, I can't really put that on him.
Still ain't. But yeah.
Oh, he made a call.
And then and then with the Lakers, like you said, that first season with the Lakers, bubble season, yes, but he went and won a championship that year. Then the next year they were 42 and 30. Then the next year they fired him. I don't put that. I don't put that. I don't put them being 33 and 49 on him though. Like I said, like Joe said, that roster wasn't constructed to be a good team for real.
Mm-hmm.
They went out and coveted Russell Westbrook, and I'm not saying that Russell Westbrook is a terrible player. Let's not get that misconstrued, because he's not a terrible player. He was just a terrible fit for the Lakers. He was not a good fit. I don't care what anyone says. He was not a good fit for the Lakers. They should have went and got Miles Turner and Buddy Hield.
Facts.
That's what they should have did, because Buddy Hield was there. They could have had a chance to get Buddy Hield. That's shooting. That's what you needed. You went and got someone who is not known to be a shooter, who's a turnover machine. Yes, he can average triple doubles, and we know he's going to put up the effort. We know he's going to do whatever he can to drive the ball and get assists. We know that. But what LeBron needs is shooting, and that's not what that roster constructed. That roster did not have shooters. Look at the roster now. The roster now has people that can shoot. That's why they got all the way to the Western Conference Finals. And they were also a playing team. There were 2 playing teams that made the conference finals this year. So I'm not putting that on Frank Vogel. I think this was a good move, but I really feel like they should have just kept Monty Williams. I don't think Monty Williams, he would have did no different than what Frank Vogel did. Just me personally, I would have kept Monty. That's just me.
Now I'm glad you all brought that up, right? Because if new ownership, and that's really part of the reason why they got rid of Monty Williams, right?
Mm-hmm.
This right here, I mean, part of it. But if you think about it, them hiring Frank Vogel, of course, there's no one else out there, and you all saying they should have kept Monty. This lets me know now, if I'm a player, ownership doesn't have a real direction that they want to go with this team. Because Frank Vogel and Monty, if you want to put them neck and neck, of course, Frank does have the chip, but he had LeBron, and it was in the bubble. Like that team, like you gotta add all that to the argument. But Monty already had the post. So the only player that you really had to get rid of in this situation was Ayton. And you could probably deal Ayton for something else, for someone else, and get probably another big or maybe some more pieces for your bench. So if I'm a player, I'm probably looking at this in a whole nother spectrum. That was funny.
Yeah, man. Like I agree with this comment right here. Frank Vogel is a defensive coach, and that's what they need because offense is already elite. I agree with that. You know, that's why I said
play defense.
They got to
They
make
got a
room.
lot of, they got a lot of roster spots to fill in. They're gonna be in that free agency in that buyout market too. But like, I'm with Jim with that. That was one of my points in the beginning. He's a good defensive coach, and he's a good X's and O coach. Like he is a good coach. He's a good coach.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that, how is he with superstars? And we all know he won a championship with AD and LeBron, but he did a terrible job in the locker room when Russ was there. And when Darvin Ham got there, you instantly saw a change in the locker room. In my opinion, I felt like the locker room changed once he got there. But but then my other brother, I don't want to blame Frank Vogel. I think the Lakers upstairs part of it is disgusting. There's too many people. They got too many inputs. Too many people are involved in the major decisions. So
Yeah,
I
you
think that had
got.
a lot to do with it.
Yeah, you
So
got.
I'm okay
It's so
with it.
many.
I'm okay with
There's
the
so
hire.
many people outside that's not even in the organization anymore that's still involved with it. I'm like, yeah, that has to be a headache.
Fellas, do you all believe in a parallel universe?
Do I believe in it?
Yeah.
I do.
Thank you, Dave. So we got to start operating and looking at things like two things can be true. Frank Vogel can be a good coach, but the front office can also just be bad, or the front office can be terrible and the front office could be good, or Frank Vogel just isn't that good of a coach. I
Yeah.
mean, also when he got to LA, didn't Jason Kidd like one of the assistant coaches? Like I think that's who they really wanted to hire, right?
I'm tripping. That's one of my points, Tomo. I need to know who's on the bench with Frank Vogel. I want to know that too. I want to know who's going to be part of his coaching staff. I thought Jay Kidd, like J-Mo point with defensively, he's going to bring that. He's going to make sure they become a tough, defensive-minded team. But your coaching staff is a lot. I think that's one of the reasons why Boston fell off. People don't know this. Damon Stoudemire was an assistant coach for Missoula. In the middle, right before the season ended, Damon Stoudemire took a job to coach college, and he left. And then when he left, Kendrick Perkins came out and said that's going to hurt them in the long run. And you can see it probably did. So that's going to be a big thing too. Because I think Jason Kidd had a big impact on our Lakers team that went in the bubble.
That's a good point.
But I like it though.
Looking at more often.
Where's time right now? The Nuggets.
Yeah, because your ex Wizard.
They
don't like that.
Yeah, so
hey Dave, if y'all get Bradley Beal, you might win the finals.
Nah, I'm good.
He's a role player. Only got role players winning.
I'll take Jaylen Brown before I take Bradley Beal.
Yeah, hold on. Did y'all hear that Zelda losing some more coaching staff because he's not going?
That makes sense.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. I won't be surprised. So
shoot.
We'll
Tatum and Brown not getting along with Joe Mazzulla right now. They just went and had
I don't think I ain't never hear that. Yeah, like
you ain't see it.
Tatum likes Mazzulla. Like Mazzulla is Tatum's guy.
Yeah, but they went and complained about Grant Williams not getting minutes. So
yeah, they talked about that.
Oh, they did. Okay, all right. Well, I didn't hear that, but they did build like a great relationship with Udoka, and he's been a big impact in their life. I think Jaylen Brown was going to Houston. They should, y'all. So
hey, I think that's good for him if you go.
Spurs, yeah. Now Udoka was with the Spurs for years, so that's where he learned from. So that Mike Brown like to be. That's what good coaches come from the Spurs, man. Steve Kerr.
Yeah. That's true. Now you're right.
That's right.
From the Spurs. Maybe I get Beckham. How about Becky Hammond? How about you get her? She's on the Spurs.
I promise you, I wanted her to coach the Wizards. I promise you. When they was looking for a coach, I was like, that's one of the names my man threw out there.
She'll take an NBA job over a WNBA job any day.
She gonna get paid a lot more. I would take it too.
She can pay right now too, but a lot more with the NBA. As the first woman too, and then she start winning. She's gonna set the precedent. She's gonna get all these deals off the court because she's the first female to do this in NBA.
Like imagine that your team, let's say you like Pistons, the Magic, or the Wizards, like teams that's bottom feeders right now, Hornets, teams like that's always in the lottery. You do get Becky, and she takes your team to the finals in the next 2 years. Like just think about that. That'd be a great look for Pop.
And for her, she just won last year. She just won with the then she coached Vegas, right?
She won a summer league championship not too long ago too.
Yeah, she did. Yep. That's when Pop let her start getting her head coaching feel.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all at the next episode.